Hi guys, welcome back again. So this is the sewing tutorial of the previous video we made on this kimono jacket with side drawstrings. If you have not watched the previous video, do watch it because that is where we cut this kimono jacket. So now I just placed the back of the kimono jacket on my table like so, and then I'll go ahead to place the front piece on it like so, with the right side facing each other. Note guys, right side facing each other. So after that, I will just go ahead and sew the shoulder, and then I will come back to show you the finished look. After sewing, this is how it looks like. I have also gone ahead to iron out the band that I'll be using for both the neck and the sleeve. So I'll just notch the middle part of my neck, as that is exactly where I will be starting my sewing from. I will start sewing from the center back of my neck all the way down, and I will repeat the same thing for the other side. Now this is the band I will be using for my sleeve. This is just me trying to place it so that you will have an idea of how I am going to sew it together. It is very simple guys, there is no trick about it. So after sewing it, this is how it looks like. As you can see, it is just a regular kimono jacket. There's no big deal to it. So I already went ahead to notch this neck part. It is very important, don't forget to notch it because it helps your kimono jacket to balance more. I also went ahead to notch this sleeve part. It is very important. As you can see, I've not even ironed it to see the way it is relaxing already. Now let's get into the magic. So we are going to lay the jacket like so. You remember this piece we cut out initially in the previous video for our drawstring. I already went ahead to fold this side, so I am just going to take it to my sewing machine and I will run a stitch at the side and side, and then I will run a stitch at the middle. So let's head to my sewing machine. Let me show you guys. So now make sure you pin it down. It is very important. If you don't pin it, it will be shaking. You might end up sewing something that is not straight. So after pinning it down, make sure your sewing allowance is at the middle of this particular piece. Don't sew it by the side of the sewing allowance. Sew it that the sewing allowance will be at the middle of this piece. This is very important, or else your drawstring will be looking bent. So you are going to sew exactly the way you see me do on your screen. After that, this thing I just did now, I'm going to replicate it for this other parts of this rope. You can see that is my sewing allowance at the middle. So I've just laid back like this, and then I will sew starting from this other part all the way to where it ends, just exactly how you see me do on the video. Make sure your sewing is straight guys, it is very important, or else there will be no space for your safety pin to go in. So after sewing it, this is exactly how it looks like. You can see, I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So I will just go ahead and run a straight stitch at the middle now. So when we run that straight stitch at the middle, it will have two openings automatically, that is one as the inlet and the other as the outlets of the rope. If that makes any sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and run the stitch like so, and I will do the same thing for the other part of my jacket, and then I will come back to show you guys how it looks. You can see this is how it looks. There is no big deal to it. This is just the easiest way to go about it. So after sewing it, I've already gone ahead to sew my rope. Remember the rope we cut out? I just joined two pieces together and then I sew a straight rope because I don't want it separately. You can also sew yours separately and just stitch it at the top part, but I want mine to, yes, at this top part you can sew yours separately and stitch it like so, but I want mine to be just a straight rope. And don't forget to cut your thread because it helps your work to look very neat. So I'm going to go ahead and feed that rope into a safety pin like so, and then I'll go ahead and put it into this first hole. Don't forget, after sewing that middle, the hole becomes 2 automatically. So I'm just going to feed it in just like you see me do, and then I'll pass it out through the other side, and then I will put it back and feed it in again from up downwards. So after doing that, you see that I am going to have it looking like this. See the way it is looking. Look at how the top is. You see that there's an opening there. You can choose to stitch yours there, but this is how I want mine to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw it. See the way it is looking. I will do the same thing for the other side, and then I will come back to show you guys how the finished look. Yes, so after everything, this is how it's looking. You can see it is very clean. This is the easiest way to go about your drawstring if you know you don't want to use a sewing along. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget, share to your friends, your family, your loved ones. I will see you next time. Bye.